Welcome back, Wizarding World. As we all know, Hogwarts Legacy has been a truly amazing game and experience, and did not let me down with its release in the slightest, especially compared to what seems to be a trend in the gaming world, where we have lost trust in so many companies overpromising and under-delivering, or giving us products filled with so many bugs you'd think you were taking an entomology class. Hogwarts, with all of the collections, challenges, stories, secrets, and open-world exploring, is a nice breath of fresh air, and even with my concerns pre-release, I can proudly say that this game was well worth my money and time. Keeping all this in mind, here are 5 things that Hogwarts Legacy could have done better. Number 5. Making the game too easy. I know this is said a lot in current games, but let me explain. I don't mind having markers or quest tracking as other gamers might complain, and that's mostly because there's options to turn these features off if you would like to. What I'm referring to is trying to solve a puzzle and your character's voice hints what to do. Although this could be helpful to some players, I think it really takes away from the experience as a whole, especially when you factor in how quickly your character hints at the puzzle. This also doesn't happen all the time in my experience, but often enough that it's noticeable. Number 4. Inventory management. Nothing is worse than having to trash some of your gear because you can't fit anymore in your inventory. Hogwarts Legacy does have a system to increase inventory size, but even with the first upgrade, I went into a dungeon area and filled up before the end. I think there should have been more testing and the original size a small amount bigger, or allow you to see the loot you are attempting to grab so that you can compare to the items that you already have and might trash. This is a simple way that would make the inventory management feel more natural. Number 3. Transmog options. Don't get me wrong, I love having the options that are already available and do think this system is good, but having to reapply the skin every time I get an upgrade is tedious. How was this not thought of when testing the game? Another reason this bothers me, probably a little too much, is because you're still a student going to class in Hogwarts, but the only one ever out of uniform. It would have been a nice touch of detail to have all the school classroom cutscenes put you in an appropriate uniform. This is why most of the time I use one of the many versions of the school uniform for my gameplay. It's a break in immersion that probably annoys me more than most people. Number 2. UI hotkeys and camera options. Hogwarts and the surrounding area is beautiful, and naturally you want to take in the sights and snap some pictures, but there is a lack of ability to do this, especially compared to other similar games. Positioning your character for screenshots or trying to get a nice picture of a landscape without your character in the way would have been a great addition to an already great game. There are options to remove HUD and other UI elements, but you have to go into settings and manually turn them all off one by one. A more convenient hotkey or disable all button would have been a welcome addition. On top of this, having emote animations would also make content creating a lot better, but being a single player game, it's a bit of a stretch to justify adding emotes, I'm sure. This brings us to the last topic of the discussion: keyboard and mouse controls. Talking about hotkey and ease of setting controls, this game was clearly not meant for PC and was more of an afterthought. Not only through option settings, but playing the minigame to learn new spells, or flying in particular, makes gameplay feel very unnatural and at times tedious. A great example of this is the balloon popping challenges and broom race courses. It's the times when you need fine-tune accuracy and you just don't get it with the mouse and keyboard. I believe this is because they chose to use WASD keys for control instead of using your mouse. Although I'm sure it's easy to adapt eventually, it's a very annoying experience for me. Although these things aren't big issues for the most part, it would be awesome to see Hogwarts continue to update and become better. If you have anything you think should be on the list, please leave a comment below. I would love to hear from the console players as well to compare experiences. Anyways, thanks for watching, and until next time, stay magical.